Hi, Coach John here, and welcome back to my three-part coaching series on how to take your ideas from 0 to 60 for your business. In the first video, I gave you the first strategy of bringing your ideas to life by first getting out of your head. Now, if you haven't watched it yet, go see part 1 right now at my blog. It's at businesswit.com. Watch part 1 before you watch part 2. Now, if you watched part 1, you should already have completed at least one morning brain dump session, and you're now ready to move on to the next strategy. And here's where I'm going to coach you on how to test your idea to see if it's going to sink or swim. Now, just like the strategies I shared in part 1, the steps I'm providing are derived directly by observing and modeling the actions of the ultra successful. This is how we shortcut the process to getting you to your goals by modeling those who win. Makes sense, right? I mean, you wouldn't go out and follow someone who keeps failing. That wouldn't make any sense. So know that as you're watching this and learning that I'm not just teaching my opinions. I'm sharing proven steps from a multitude of mentors and winners with over hundreds of years of experience. And just like the successful leave clues as to what works, the unsuccessful, they leave big, massive clues on how to increase your chance of failure. And it's just as important to know those clues so we can test what we do against them to make sure we're giving ourselves the best advantage. After speaking to hundreds of business owners who have failed and had to close up shop, I found several commonalities that attributed to their failures. And what follows is a condensed timeline of how most people start up businesses. It's also the riskiest and most expensive way to do it. Now, typically when an idea is birthed, lots of money is thrown into trying to establish the business brand. This is usually the first thing. Cool logos, cool website, cool apparel to wear, feel proud of, a nice office full of furniture, you hire an admin assistant in preparation of the flood of new businesses that you're expecting. Then, of course, you have to be able to deliver your new product or service, so lots of money goes into inventory. Or if you're selling a service, then money would go into making your deliverables look nice and flashy. And typically, before the first dollar is earned, tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent. Business loan debt, they're wasted without ever testing the idea in the first place. That's right, I said wasted, not invested. This is not an investment. We'll get to more of that in just a minute. And the sad part is that most businesses don't go out of business because they have bad ideas. In fact, most businesses fail because they can't handle their debt load long enough to see their ideas become real and fruitful. And the worst part about a business failing, though, is the impact on all the people and the companies that could have benefited and been served. At best, it gets delayed. At worst, it never happens. So you see, failure affects many more people than just the business owner and family. It's a ripple effect that I've spent my life committed to stopping. Now, although I know the old way of starting a business used to be the only true way to do it, nowadays, with the advancement in technology, there is no excuse for anyone who has a good idea not to become a millionaire, because capital isn't a barrier to entry. It's simply not necessary. If you've developed great ideas but have held back from bringing them to life because you lacked money or time, I'm going to show you exactly why those two items, time and money, are no longer needed to test your ideas to see if they have real home run potential. All right, are you ready? Are you excited? Okay, here we go. Here are my 3 steps to being able to test your idea before you invest. Step number 1 is become a cheapskate. Now, originally I wanted to call this step become frugal, but I really wanted it to stick with you so you never forget it. The reason you need to become a cheapskate is because your natural tendency and inclination is to believe that the money you spend on your business venture, those are investments. And this is a huge lie because very few things we ever spend money on are investments. Even in business, most expenditures are just liabilities that won't ever pay themselves back. Now, besides being able to save precious capital, the most important part about what being a cheapskate will do for you and your business is it will rearrange the order of what's most important. You see, although having a cool brand and a website, t-shirts with your logo on it, and having all the nice things to give the perception that you're a legitimate business early on is fun, none of it is necessary or even helpful in making sales. So being a cheapskate will rearrange your hierarchy of business needs to only investing in what will bring sales. And this is why I'm such a big fan of Brian Tracy. He's a sales guy first. Everything is about acquiring and retaining customers. Do you know what the most important tool that can make you $1 million is? It's your voice. The most important tool to bring your idea or ideas to life and also create huge success is your ability to sell it with clarity and purpose so you can convey to your customers why they need your idea or your product or your service. That's it. If you could do this effectively, you'll hit home runs and grand slams. Now, of course, you won't be able to use your voice to sell the value of your idea unless you've started with your brain dump. That's to help you isolate your great ideas. So before you spend a single dollar on your new idea, ask yourself this: is what I'm spending going to bring me a sale today? And if the answer is no, then there's somewhere else you should focus. Step number 2 is to settle for nothing less than 10x value. You know, the most successful brands, they don't compete on price. And you shouldn't either, ever. I'm not big on absolutes because there always seem to be exceptions, but this one is true. Don't ever compete on price. Instead, compete on value. Before you can sell your idea, you have to be able to pump it up full of real value for your customers. This is how you break through in a crowded space. This is going to take a little bit of thought, though, and you're going to likely need to receive some counsel from other people, those people that you trust. Get some great advice here. And the key here is to identify how you're going to make your product or service 10 times more valuable than the price. And this is how successful people do startups. So similar to how I showed you how to do your morning brain dumps, you'll need to do the same when it comes to how you're going to add value to your idea. Without prejudice or judgment, write down everything you can think of that would give your product or service value. And once you have everything you can think of, and you've received wise counsel from people that you trust, then go through and eliminate the value adds that have a high cost of time or money. And keep the ones that feel right. When you finish this step, you may or may not be at 10x value. That's okay. Whatever you end up, it's going to be a lot better than where you started. Step number 3 is to hustle your idea. Before you can bring an idea to life, you need to test it by selling it and see if anyone wants to buy what you're offering. Now, sure, you may think the world of your idea, but that doesn't mean anyone else is going to agree. If your idea is a product, research and prepare the path for production. Get great pictures and have a visual representation of what you're selling. Then, without spending any money on inventory, go out and begin to sell it to people you know who would be willing to listen. Take orders and take payments and use that money to produce the product. If you aren't able to sell your idea, then you've lost nothing, and you'll soon know what you need to do to improve your results. Going through this process may seem like a lot of work. However, there's a lot of great resources that help here. We've got drop shipping and private labeling. They'll both allow you to test your ideas and get hustling quickly. Now, if you're selling a service, put together an introductory package that you can sell as well. And get out and start selling the results that your service can provide. Just like with products, take orders and payments and then deliver on a set date once you've secured payment. Whatever your idea is, you have to get out there and hustle it. And you have to become an expert in being able to pitch your idea using your voice. These things take careful planning and time and a resilience for rejection. But if you have a great idea that you can't shake from your mind, using these steps will help you bring it to life and see what it can become. So there you have it, the 3 steps to test your ideas before you invest. I hope now the thoughts and excitement are flowing in your mind. And in the next video, I'm going to teach you the final step that will launch your ideas into the stratosphere. Test before you invest, sell before you spend. Those are 2 great strategic moves for your business. As always, I'd love to hear your feedback. Really, scroll down and leave a comment before you go. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to let me know that you were here. When you make the right moves in chess, you win the game. When you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. Cheers to your success.